does a little teeny tiny boat, a gigantic sun, some big waves, and oversized bubbles have in common? Whimsical art, of course. Join me today, and now let's dive in. Welcome, SeaRoxxers. Here's our general design of our whimsical waterscape. I took on many changes as I went along, but we're working on an 8x16 board. To get started on our mixed media piece, I'm going to break out the air dry clay and create a multi-dimensional sort of 3D effect sun. And to add some texture, I'm just going to use a styrofoam ball. Look at the awesome texture that ball created. Well, I'm using the cup as a stencil, and then I'm going to cut around it. And for the next layer of sun, I'm going to use this really cool wooden stamp that I found on Amazon. So I started off with this muted blue to set the tone, and then I'll mix the other colors with it together to create a harmonious color palette. Our water got a couple coats of paint, and now our sky is just going to be some neutrals using a catalyst wedge. The first layer of that sky was dry. Now to go in with the second layer. To give our water a little more 3D effect, I'm going to use a gloss gel medium by Liquitex and give it texture by using this texturizing tool. Now to achieve this effect, it's basically the same way as if you were to use a texture paste. Just going to apply the gel right on there and then use your tool to create the design that you want. And don't worry if you flub up, you can just scrape it right off and redo it. If you're enjoying today's video so far, please splash that like button, click the bell, and that way you'll know every time I put out a video. And see, I messed up because my board wasn't smooth, so I just scraped it off and did it again. And just ignore the camera in the left-hand corner there. I have a new setup that I hope is going to work better for us. But I was so concentrated on trying to get this gel right that I didn't notice that I had it in my frame. So sorry about that. Hours later, and our gel is nice and dry, and our beautiful colors, the textures are accentuated how we use the tool, and the water just looks so wavy and ready to jump in. Now let's go on to our next step. Now I think I'm going to call this my signature technique. I'm taking my crackle paste or my faceted lacquer and I'm going to put it in a piping bag. No, I'm not drinking Pilsner while I'm doing this. But we're going to pipe some crackle paste on here. And because the texture was uneven, I had a little challenge getting this paste on here without little blips. But, you know, scrape it off and start over again, just like the other technique. So while our whimsical waves are drying, I am going to work on our big giant sun. It is 2 layers, and then I decided to add the third little, I call them bubbles, in clay because I had some of those hanging around. And I am using a warm color palette for the sun. Our crackle paste lines are nice and dry and crackled, and of course they are going to get a coat of gold paint. Our big whimsical sun is going to get a starburst of some gold foil. And to do that, I wanted to make sure I got it going in the right direction. So I made my own starburst guide. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to the channel because, where else can you find such unique art? Our sun did get a little varnish, but I decided to add some gold accents after the fact. Keeping with our gold accents, I'm using a paint pen by Deco Color. And now it's time for a good varnish on the rest of it and let it dry. Once the varnish is dry, we can assemble our whimsical waterscape. And to continue with our element of whimsy, I am adding some giant clay bubbles. Now, don't go anywhere because our reveal with our itty bitty boat is next. This is our finished whimsical art piece with the itty bitty boat, the giant sun, the oversized waves, and of course, those gigantic bubbles. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed yourself and perhaps you're even inspired to try some whimsical art yourself. I invite you to join the SeaRoxx family. Like, share, and subscribe to all those things you need to do to get notified every week of every new video. You can also find me on my other social media platforms, my website, my Etsy shop. Thanks for watching, and until next time, go beach or go home.